It's time for Full of Shit Friday. We're gonna watch some slop and make your day. The slop will flow, but that's okay, because it's Friday, Friday. Gotta watch slop on Friday. We're gonna Friday, Friday. Gotta watch slop on Friday. We're gonna
Burpa, everybody. Just hold on. I'm hoping that my audio is okay. Stop. It is looking a bit like it's weird, but anyway, yeah. I just noticed my camera even shows the bloodshotness of my eyes. So this is me like you don't usually see me, I think. But don't look too close. Just put me on like 720. Just don't pay too much attention. Yeah, I don't know what's up with the definition there. So today we are doing a react as usual for a Fur Eye Day, but instead of picking on men, because we do that all the time with the Fur Eye Day slop, we're going to be looking at women for once. Well, it's been a while since we asked if women were okay, but yes, we are going to be looking at a video called The Rise of the Pathological Female. It is by one Hannah Spear, MD. So that's what we're going to be watching. Hey, Tobes, how you doing? Good to see ya. Happy Friday morning, it must be by now. Yeah. So what we're going to be watching is this. I'm good. Yeah, I'm doing okay. I'm doing good. It's gonna be a nice weekend. Oh yeah. Yeah. So getting into the December feels. But yeah, I think last night I felt sick as well though. So I had those joint pains that you get when you're sick. Ugh. Anyway, you're supposed to just say I'm good. I'm good. What you been playing lately, Naysayer? I don't know why, because I read it, because my eyes went over it. I called you Naysayer. You're Tobes. Don't get it. Tobes is who you are. I haven't played any Monster Hunter in so long. Right, so yeah, this is the video we're talking about. It is by Psychobabble, to Psychobabble section, I suppose. I got a PS5 finally. Yes. How's it going? How are you experiencing it? Do you think it was worth the wait? Like worth getting it? Because you did pretty well with the PlayStation 4. You got to play most of your things. But now I guess you play the new Monster Hunter, the new everything. Yeah. So was it worth it? I mean, I've been Oblivion Remastered and Apex lately. You see, yeah. I suppose Apex would be you're playing optimal, and then Oblivion Remastered. That's cool. I think I should play that. But then again, I'm like I just want to go back to Skyrim. I want to go and see my Skyrim save. I've been saying that for the past month or so, that I want to go and see I don't think I actually finished Skyrim. I didn't kill Alduin or anything like that. So I need to go back to that. Maybe that's what I'll do with my time this weekend. So always a maybe with me. But yeah, let's get into the react today. We have spoken about Are Men Okay, the male loneliness epidemic, all of those sort of things. And recently, I think it was we did a shoe video where she went over some really sad guys, and I actually got a lot of flack for the way that I reacted to them. So let's see about women. Let's see what happens. This is about the pathological woman, and supposedly there is a rise in this. Let's read the description here. This episode dives into a side of the mental health crisis nobody wants to talk about. I'm going to talk about it. The rise of the female-coded cluster B pathologies, borderline histrionic and narcissistic personalities. Everybody's talking about it if you're on the right part of the internet, honey. Sorry, this is not new. People talk about this. That if you go into the comments of certain channels and just the ones that I watch, like if you go and look in V's channel or something, you'll see there'll be typical cluster B, blah, 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 blah. If you go to the true crime, podcasts and stuff, they'll talk about cluster Bs and things. We talk about it. But I suppose on certain sides of the internet, we don't. I made a cameo in your dream. Yeah, was it good? I've made some cameos in people's dreams that have just been like, what? Why are you here? Like, get out of my car. Which is highly cat coded. What's up, Paffy? How you doing? It was pretty hilarious. I'm glad, but was I probably clumsy? Just tell me about this. See, now what we're going to do when I watch this video as well is figure out if I'm these, because I mean I'm a female. Just now I'm a pathological one. We will be huge. Yes, we're about to take over. Pappy. Okay. Why are psychiatrists afraid to diagnose women? Okay. Why are tantrums reframed as trauma and manipulation as mental health struggles? Because I can tell you this immediately, because we have gone extra female with everything, because everything is trauma. Everything is just soft, and we can't take accountability for our own actions. So, but anyway, I'll answer as we go along. I was online playing a game. Then I got into an argument with some smug arsehole on a game. Was I the smug arsehole? Or did I help you? Come on, you're killing me here, Carl. I've got to choose a replacement for my shopping order. Tell us, Carl. I'm busy. Ooh, they don't have my Red Bull. Fine. Then you giving me a red Bull, and it's cheaper. So there. No available? Okay, not available. Ooh, let's see this. Do that. Okay. No, this is the whole reason that I asked for this. This is the whole. I'm displaying pathological behavior here. No. So the whole reason that I ordered this order is no longer coming. But anyway, out of nowhere, your face pops up surrounded by a circular portal, almost as if you Zoom called me and literally appeared. I'm your claptrap. I'm your assistant. I'm your what's the chick that talks to you in Warframe? Tenno. She calls you Tenno. That's me. Okay, so I came into your field of view and I was like, and did I say back all the way off? Did I do that to the person? I hope I helped you. Okay. I break down how ideology has blinded clinicians, how social media fuels these traits, and why emotional coercion has become new moral currency. Ooh, very good, very good. I think I'm gonna like this video. You know what you should do? You should like this video right now. You haven't disliked it by now, have you? If you have, what are you still doing here? Right, let us continue. I do want Kyle to finish his story though before we start, because I would like to comment on that. I'm waiting out of nowhere. So, guys, picture it. And of course, I would pop out of nowhere as like a floating Zoom call kind of person because that's how Carl knows me. So it makes sense dream interpretation wise. And also, why I would occur in a game where you, in a dream where you are talking about a game makes sense because that's how we met. But yeah, the asshole gamer thing, it just depends on whether I added to the situation or if I took your side. Okay, you then somehow can hear both the smug guy and myself, so I'm not that one. You proceed to shit talk the guy. Bro, don't even try to debate somebody. I do this shit for a living. I would absolutely cook your bitch ass in a debate. Oh, yes. So it even had the debate elements in. Wow. You know what? This is obviously because you fell asleep when you fell asleep a little bit after you watched the stream this morning. Not that we were debating, but so it was just a thematic creep. Right. So I would defend you to the hilt. Let's go. I mean, I don't usually look for debates, man. I like looking at other people's debates. I'm a debate voyeur, and I like to examine that. But if it comes to defending my friend, let's go. Snarky, stupid gamer guy. He doesn't exist, but I'm with you. I'm a passionate friend, man. I'll help you out. I won't be very good in the game, so I won't help you in the game. You know this. But I'm there for moral support. Guys, if we get a super chat, I will give us a clip of me and Kyle. It's one of the glory days. But yeah, let us get going. Let us start the reaction. Tell us, Hannah Spear, MD. Tell us what's up. That doesn't help me. Thank you. The smart guy tries to clap back, but keeps stuttering. You respond with, "You lost. Go back to playing Math Blaster, kid. Don't even try to debate somebody like me again." Okay, well, that's very narcissistic. And it was very much about me. It should be about, like, don't you dare speak crap to Carl. That's how I want myself. Then you woke up, and you were like, "Oh, okay, she handled it." You should have carried on playing, Carl. The whole point that I yelled at that guy was so that you could carry on playing. Oh, I'm so sorry. What a way to spend your brain cells. That's great. Guys, this has been Dream Time with Kitty and Carl. Please tell me every time there is... Actually, you don't want Paffy, this guy over here. You don't want him dreaming about you. He has horrible dreams, horrific dreams. So don't tempt him. But anyway, let us go. Now, hopefully, I will have a kaboo, ki dream. Because that's something else that Carl and I... If you don't know, you don't know. It's anyway. I apologize for the delay. Yeah, you better. Right. Hi, Maddie. Let's go. Let's go. Come. Stop. We are professional reaction people. In Carl's next dream, I will be yelling at somebody and saying, "You can't react harder than me. I'll react harder than you. I will react you out of the freaking sea, boy." Into the sea. Okay, let's go. Let's stop. Okay.
We completely blind ourselves to the growing prevalence. We don't want to admit how easily certain temperaments go out of control. What happens?
It's not me, guys. That's not me.
When they're left untamed? What happens when excessively neurotic women are not taught to emotionally regulate? We're trained to think that women are so harmless. They're just...
Whoo! Okay, yes, we're harmless physically. But we can still cause some damage if we are unhinged. Okay, and also what makes us so insidiously dangerous is that because we're women, we can't be slapped. We can't be slapped around and disciplined. So that can actually lead to, in my opinion, a bit of entitlement on the female part, where it's like they can do whatever they want because they're used to men holding back, which is like, no, there's still part of a social contract that you should not be an asshole. So think about that. Geez, why is your face so close to zoomed in today? I don't know. Let me see if I can change this. Hold up. Okay, hold up. You know, I can speak from here. Hold up. You're making me self-conscious, Theo. I was trying to... Just hold on. The reason why women love murder mysteries, because they're all pathological. You and Kevin Hart were trapped in a bird cages being fed to a wood chipper. Ooh. Yeah, that make... Oh, no wonder it's zoomed in like that. Why would you zoom in like that, camera? What the hell? Stay that way. I think it's not. It's zoomed out. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. Like I can feel your nose. You won't be able to feel my nose and live, okay? You'll die. It will stab you. You will bleed to death. Okay, let's go back. Shush! Everybody, let me concentrate. But yes, people were complaining about it this morning, so. Hi, Giratina. Hi, good guy as well. Can I hit you up if someone is being mean to me in the children's video game? Yes, if somebody ugly to you on Roblox, you call me. Call Auntie Chintz.
You're trained to psychotic women are not taught to emotionally regulate. We're trained to...
Yes, we're not taught to emotionally regulate because it's been the whole liberal idea of we've got... Okay, this is the coming up thing, so I'll react to it later. But yes, liberal ideas. That's why we must all express ourselves, and we can all just explode in it, and it's just being our true self. The nose paws are wild. Jeez, Cream Edge. Hi, 1 of 44, Giratina. I'm glad that you stopped by, even though you got to go to work soon. Okay.
Think that women are so harmless. They're just, they're just innocent creatures, just full of good impulses. No,
yes, we're all just good. We're good, sweet babies.
They can wreak havoc, and we're not doing anything to prevent them to spiral into pathology.
I've been sleeping on this woman, man. I need to subscribe. Okay.
Welcome back to Psychobabble, where we expose bad therapy and the narratives that contribute to our poor mental health.
Ooh.
I'm Hannah Spear. Today we're going to talk about pathological female behavior.
You ask who we are judging? Women in general, not just me. Okay, so it's shush about my skin care. And hey, shall we go about how frizzy my hair is? What accent is that? It sounds Eastern European. That's it. It sounds multicultural. Probably sounds a bit Russian. That's what I'm thinking. Okay.
The cluster B pathologies, because here, I'm Hannah Spear. Today we're going to talk about pathological female behavior.
Mm-hmm.
The cluster B pathologies, because we are surrounded by the wreckage they cause.
It's literal wreckage. She goes, we are surrounded by the wreckage they cause. No, Theo, you stay and listen, because this is about pathological women, and you've got women all over your house. Okay, so you got to think about this. I don't think you have pathological women, but the thing is, you have girls that are going to be surrounded by other girls, and this is the world that they're in. Okay, that's the problem. I'm scared of this. This is the world that my niece is growing up in. Not that I'm very well adjusted, but it's even worse out there. Okay, so yeah, woman makes her boyfriend crash. Why? Because of reasons. And she smiles. She smiles!
I don't know what you want from me.
All over the internet.
I don't know what you want from me. Maybe a sorry, maybe a, oh my god, what did I just do? Put me in the background. That's what I'm here for. I'm here for the background. And then every now and then I'll scream and you'll be like, what is she talking about? Why is she so angry?
You can see viral videos of grown women throwing tantrums in public.
What?
Okay, let go. Let go. You didn't let me get my moment, so I want to say my name is Khadija Diallo, and I'm graduating today.
And whenever
Ooh, that's really public. I'm trying to think of tantrums I've thrown as an adult. I've thrown one. I know which one. Theo will know which one as well. I confronted somebody at university and I landed up yelling at them in public. But it was like a targeted attack. It wasn't just me having a tantrum because other people upset me. But the point is, it was very unhinged and but the thing is, she deserved it. Okay, she did. But yeah, that's sort of that I didn't get my moment kind of thing. That no. I don't think you throw one so often. I get angry, okay, and then I act sulky. That's my thing. You do remember, Theo, the one that everybody was like and looking at Gordon as well. It was because I was yelling at that one particular female at university. I like that this red long straight hair, brunette curly love mixes. People who dye or using highlights, all natural long hair, all colors. Yeah, well, some of these are dyes and they're still natural looking.
I speak about this, people come out and they say, this is exactly my sister, my partner, my children. There's so many people suffering from this.
I'm not telling you what she said horrible things. Okay, she said horrible things. She did horrible things, and I was tired of acting like she was a normal human being, and I just told her off. And she didn't really say much because it was just like, how, why, who.
And the irony is that the prevalence of all the different mental disorders is rising. We hear about it all the time.
Wait, let's see. Days, month, mental health, not good. Yeah, but we're also tracking our mental health a lot more than we did before. Yes, exactly. It's bullshit. He puts up with all that bullshit. Oh yeah, she's how could she stay? But no, her parents stay by June's parents. Well, that's nice. You know what? It was a very long time ago. Lots of things happen to a person in between.
All the different mental disorders is rising.
Wait, the day that you guys notice my one silver hair, you'll get a cookie. Because I only have one right now.
Hear about it of all the different mental disorders is
stop it.
Is that the prevalence of all the different mental disorders?
18% increase US anxiety prevalence. Well, the world gets a bit creaky, but then we are also recording it a lot more because we destigmatize. This is the whole discussion of destigmatizing mental illness, psychopathology. We start recording more, so we actually have a bias in our inherent in our data. So I'm wondering how much that influences it. And also I think she'll get to this point, but we get a sort of social credit for having a mental illness, my mentees, some psychological problems. So that there's kind of, because people began to understand it, then people that actually don't have those pathologies then start identifying with them, and we might get even more. And why did this go down? That's interesting. 2018, and then it just went up from 2020. The thing is, I can understand the increase from 2020 because of the pandemic, but the downturn 2018, that's interesting.
Is rising. We hear about it all the time. We're in a mental health crisis, but somehow the rise in cluster B pathologies that we feel all around us is not reflected in the research. Somehow,
Okay, cluster B is not reflected. Yeah, okay. Back in the day, with when we learned about cluster B personality disorders, cluster B behaviors, those are quite destructive. And actually, one of the only things that personality disorders were like, oh, you can really try and help people with them. You can just try and help them deal with it, but they're not going to just suddenly change. You just have to help them notice their patterns, and then they continue with their patterns, but it's just at a lower intensity. That's how I remember it, and I was doing that many years ago. That was at least 9 or 10 years ago that I was learning that. So I don't know what they're teaching people nowadays. Yeah, in my experience, friends are rare. No, the what's the name? The what do you call it? The cluster Bs seemed rare, but we already knew that histrionic and bipolar, not bipolar, and borderline were more prevalent in women at that stage. So anyway, so she's basically saying there's been an uptick, and they're everywhere. And I do believe she'll be making the point that social media, and just the social media that creates the social climate and then boosts it through its nature, that has increased the prevalence of these. It's increased the desire to be this way.
the official prevalence of cluster B has not been updated for 2 decades. The irony
Okay, I wanted
of
screenshots.
cluster B has
I need
not
to
been
be good and fast with these screenshots. Okay, so World Psychiatry 2024 January. Okay, so borderline personality disorder, comprehensive review of diagnosis and clinical presentation, etiology, treatment and current controversies. So she's saying that's 2024. Informed consent for research in borderline identity disorder, that's 2007. Okay, what are you circling?
updated.
Okay, 0.7 to 2.7% lifetime prevalence. And
For 2 decades. The irony
then they're the same. Okay. Well, okay, so let's see.
is that psychiatrists and psychologists are very quick to diagnose high-functioning individuals with mental health disorders, but they remain very reluctant to recognize cluster B conditions. And I'm going to explain now how exactly ideology clouds the roots of these dysfunctions, and how it's possible that we avoid discovering the true prevalence of cluster B pathologies. And
This is good. I like the idea of looking at the influence of ideology on the medical sciences. We try and act like psychology is a science, and psychiatry is a lot more of a science, I suppose, than we call psychology. But yeah, ideology can seep into anything. So, and of course, in the humanities, no problem. That's a lot easier to manipulate that. What's up, Wampa Stomper? I've got a bachelor's in psychology and linguistics. That's the undergrad, and then I've got a postgrad honors in psychology, but it's an old one. It's from like 2016. So, all the wokeness was only just starting in there.
I will focus on the female presentations here, because the male version, the antisocial, is widely recognized, widely studied, and these individuals you will find prosecuted and incarcerated. But the female
Yeah, you will find them persecuted and incarcerated because they are a lot more dangerous, because they actually have more that they could do to people.
coded form, it's far more likely to be excused and misinterpreted and framed as other types of mental disorders.
I hate having PTSD triggered. ASD? disorder, anxiety, something disorder. Because what the hell what the F do you mean? My manager slightly raised her voice at me and I got 2 seizures and nearly had a panic attack. This is another thing. We've even got this right here. We've got this evidence because we share these things. This is something that Sean Head has when we did criticize women, this was it, where they post their L's on the internet because this is how we work. It's a man wouldn't think of doing that. Speaking of ideologies, if I remember correctly, the mental issues increase was mostly affecting liberal-leaning youth, while conservatives were less affected. Yeah, and that makes sense as well. I've heard that several times. That it's just the left is more unhappy and all of that, but it's because your whole outlook on life is that the system, everything is broken, and I cannot do. I must fight. I must be in a constant fight, but at the same time, I'm not responsible personally for myself. It's a strange place to be in. With all those demons in her, of course. Their ASD and PTSD is so bigly. It's a bigly one. But yeah, you know what? Turmoil, things like that. But the point is, she's also it's okay. Yes, the aesthetic. You could go, oh, that's somebody crying for help, blah blah blah. But actually, she goes and writes this stuff, so you can't even say, oh, she just likes the way it looks. She likes to be goth. She just does the whole thing.
Because we hesitate to be judgmental about female behavior. So that's why I'll talk about women.
Exactly. Sorry, we don't want to be considered judgmental. There's a funny thing that if you ever speak about borderline personality disorder, now borderline personality involves a lot of anger. If you ever speak about borderline personality disorder, you will get a lot of comments and anger from that community. It's not a community. You don't just get together because you've got your personality disorder. Like you're humans that have something. That's it. But yeah, you get all of that anger and that sort of thing. That can also stop you from talking about this because of the backlash you get from the people that suffer this stuff
here, and that doesn't mean there aren't men with cluster B disorders. Is that that's not the problem I want to discuss. First, very
no, it's just not what we want to talk about. We want to talk about the ladies.
Quickly, personality disorders are
recap. Sorry, I'm pausing because she doesn't keep stuff up for quite a while, long enough for me. We've got paranoid personality disorder, schizoid personality disorder, schizotypal personality disorder. Those ones, yeah, I'm very murky on. I just remember schizoid personality disorder was very much that the schiz part is that you're separated from everything, but schizotypal is the same. So I used to get those confused. Antisocial personality disorder, yeah, those are just basically criminals. Histrionic personality disorder, you can think of Amber Heard. Narcissistic personality disorder, that's the popular one. That's the most popular one nowadays in pop culture, pop psychology. Emotionally unstable personality disorder. Oh, this is the new name for borderline? Okay, I didn't know. That's the new borderline thing. It's EUPD. Okay, cool. Emotionally unstable, because that was the whole thing. Cluster C, avoidant personality disorder, obsessive compulsive personality disorder, dependent personality disorder. Okay, yeah. So cluster B were the ones that you're like,
conditions classified in cluster A, B, and C. We can talk about clusters A and C another time. These are inflexible patterns of thinking and behavior that lead to significant impairment, dysfunction in all areas of your life. The cluster B personality disorders. So
I love a diagram though. Career, relationships, physical health, interpersonal, finances, rest and recreation. So your behaviors throughout all of this will cause functional impairment. We've spoken about that when it comes to abnormal psychology itself, or something being in the DSM, something being a disorder. It stops you from being functional. So that has brought us to the question of, well, if you can function, but you still have some strange things going on, is it really a disorder? Because we've got the whole discussion of whether being trans is now it's no longer a mental illness because that's offensive. I wonder if she would even get that far into speaking about that, but she's talking about women here, so it's fine.
All areas of your life. The cluster B personality disorders, so that's borderline, histrionic, narcissism, and antisocial, they are categorized by erratic, dramatic behavior.
Oh, you see, this is another thing we've got over here, these clips. Real raw footage of what one of my debilitating BPD episodes looks like and how I grounded myself in under 10 minutes. You put the camera on. Okay, this isn't CCTV footage. Okay, you decided to film yourself having a breakdown and showing yourself. Look, at least she's showing herself getting through it. That's pretty good. But this is what I mean by social media exacerbating these things. It's like you kind of have to have these. This is part of your whole brand now. Like, look, yeah, this thing, BPD, whatever. So it's all about, her whole channel would be about that. And on the one, I'm in between with this. On the one hand, yes, you want people to not feel alone, that this is a human condition that many people have. They are not worthless because they have a way of behaving. But showing this, and it kind of makes it as if this is a proud thing. You must be proud of this. There's like a threshold at which I think that it's unhealthy. I think we've reached it.
Behavior, manipulation, impulsivity, very high.
I change positions to sit more comfortably and start to ground myself by running my hands up and down my legs. Yeah, no, sorry.
Negative emotion. The histrionics are very, they're seeking admiration. They want to be the center of attention all the time.
Why don't you just take the picture on your camera roll and keep it there?
No, because you feel when you take a picture and you look at it, you feel, wow, like this would be good for my Instagram, or I would post it.
And so then you
there you go. She's giving us quite interesting examples. So this kind of behavior is just normal now. So you would expect, is that now no longer disordered though, doctor? Is that now because everybody's doing it? Does it mean the prevalence has gone up, or that it's socially acceptable now and it's no longer disordered? You can still function this way because the whole world functions this way. Actually, it's kind of weird if you're not taking pictures of yourself and putting them on the internet. Why is your social so dead? Why don't you take photos of yourself? Why aren't you posing in your bikini and your this and that? That's so weird. Red flag, he doesn't have an Instagram. It's interesting. Positive reinforcement for maladaptive behavior. What could possibly go wrong? Exactly.
can imagine how social media feeds into that. And these are adaptive traits that are formed, and the boundaries between these are very porous. So that's why I like to say cluster B conditions or cluster B pathologies, because no one is just one thing. And to illustrate what
that's what we do. We like to go, this is my personality because I've got hashtag BPD and I've got hashtag this and I've got hashtag GAD and I've got all of these things. Because we do like, I remember when labels was a bad thing.
This is for you. I've found a video. This went viral this year. It's a 32-year-old woman who had a complete borderline meltdown on a plane and had to be taken off and zip tied.
Is this the that motherfucker is not real? That one?
You can see this is not just drunken irritability.
no.
She had alcohol, but that just amplifies this type of behavior. That doesn't cause all of this. So you see the contempt. She wants to establish dominance, and
now that's something an adolescent does. Like I would think, okay, it's a bad adolescent because you should have enough wits about you to be able to stop yourself from being that angry or acting on the anger that you have. But this one, no lines in between. Just, I can literally assault somebody. I can literally pull their hair. What the all I do when I'm drunk is cry. I get very deep, and I love you, and I start speaking as if I'm in a movie. Apparently, I'm not hurting you. I'm hurting myself. I'm falling over. I'm doing all kinds of things.
She's entitled. You know, she expects everyone to accommodate her, not the other way around. And now she
still
proceeds
won't
to
let go of this person's hair.
grab her seatmate's hair, and while still clutching it, she insists, "I'm not even."
I'm very proud of the men for putting hands on her, though, for moving her like that way. Like, because some of them would be scared and be like, oh, you know, the woman's gonna say, "No, I touched her." It's, excuse me, she is performing an assault.
touching her.
I'm not. Andre, I'm not even touching your hair, bitch. Andre, you need the police right now. You need to let go right now. You need those 911.
You need to let go.
911, bro.
You need to let go right now. No.
You can see how she smirks. There's pleasure in the chaos.
Over here. Fucking fat lady. Let go.
You need to let go right
Let
now.
go over here. You guys are already past the point of no return. You're already
Okay, so that's the thing. When somebody is treating me like that, I think I might retaliate pretty badly. But then again, she's got such a grip on this woman's hair. I think I might also stand still and just freeze and hope everybody else fights, because you might land up with a nice huge bald patch if you start fighting this woman and been pulling her hair, because we're gonna pull no hair pulling. Okay, fight with honor, ladies.
past the point of
We see here not just impulsivity, but belief in causing another person discomfort and receiving attention from the opposite sex. And you see how she has males around her. They're usually very charismatic, attractive women who use that to get the attention they want from men.
fat ass bitch. Hilarious. You can
The thing is, though, that's unwanted attention. Like, why would you want that attention from the man? That a man has to now come up and restrain you. That's embarrassing. Like,
even show your mouth because you're embarrassed.
And now she escalates. She taunts the victim with sexual insult. So your boyfriend's dick is 2 inches, and she's laughing while doing it. And her behavior is like, it's like a schoolyard bully. There's sadistic satisfaction in causing humiliation of the people around her.
You can't even see it because you're embarrassed. Shut the fuck up.
Who's the line?
well, she's really enjoying this. It's very weird.
You can see her.
If I punched a fly on the wall, it will fly away. It's actually feeling better. Yes, okay. If I punch the fly, it'll feel better. Yeah, we can help each other out.
Smiling here. Pay attention to her face.
He's never gonna lay it again.
No, but the way she smiles, she shows her incisors. She's actually like, that's a scornful smile. It's not like, oh, joy, glee. It's sinister glee.
Okay, I'm sorry, black guy. My boyfriend's black, so shut the fuck up.
My boyfriend's black, so shut the fuck up. What are you saying, woman? Sorry. This is I'm reacting hard. Okay.
fucking a black guy. My boyfriend's a black. My boyfriend's black.
No, she's
Did she? Okay, my boyfriend's a black. Okay.
flaming. She's screaming, "I can't breathe." And what comes next is very interesting. She shifts into victim mode, which is classic manipulative strategy. She weaponizes vulnerability to escape accountability.
Okay, she's doing that to escape accountability, but I hope the people around her are not taken in by that. The people on social media, sometimes what they will do is they'll get this clip from here. They won't see the first bit. And then they'll take that victimhood and run with it and be like, she's a victim. That's what happens with social media. But the people that are there and have seen the whole thing, I would hope that they don't get taken in by that.
And it's not genuine distress. You feel it. If you look at her, you feel it doesn't elicit the same reaction in you as someone who's genuinely in distress. It's a
My
tactic.
boyfriend's a fucking black guy. You're joking.
Oh my God.
We're not doing all that. We're not doing. Shut the.
She realized, she like a child, she realized that she could spit. She's like, oh, my hands are gone. But hey, you know what I can do? I can spit at you. Because first she goes to move her hair, and then she's like, oh shit, yeah, I can spit. Wow. Ugh. Any particular reason you dislike her, or just you think with you seem like she's hurting? She's hurting other people. That's why I dislike her. She's not enough.
Fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
It might be the occasional, I don't know. I'm not seeing any disruption, like a little thingy with my internet, but it could be. I'm so sorry if it is. Kitty, just going to catch up on the latest episode of Thinkers. Hey, Louise. Yes, enjoy. We had a quite a bit of a discussion in the beginning, which was not planned. It just happened. So there was quite an interesting discussion that happened in the beginning. Please go and listen to that. Then we went and played games. So I don't it was pretty fun, but unfortunately Charles had to go during the gaming part. Okay. No disruptions on his side, says 1044.
Shut the fuck up. Yeah,
Cuffing her.
How is
She
this
has,
taking so long, guys?
2 women and 2 big men around her. They all have
ugly ass bitch. You're so fucking. You guys, you never got laid in your life. Your boyfriend's dick is like 2 inches big. It's embarrassing. I'm so sorry about your boyfriend. You're corny as fuck. Nobody's letting me go. I can't breathe.
So she's starting to cry. Nobody's letting me go. Yeah, because if we let you go, you're gonna spit on people. You're gonna throw your tantrum, ma'am. These are the well. If it ain't the consequences of my actions, yes, that's what it is. But I suppose we see so many of these things, and I guess I just don't go, oh, that's a personality disorder. I just see it. That's a TikTok.
I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Okay. Let me go. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Shut the fuck up. I can't breathe. Fuck it.
and she's kicking and screaming. She's very violent, and while smirking. So you can see how this is causing her. You can tell that this is not her first encounter with being violent or being touched in a violent way. This is something that she can control.
She can control it? Well, I don't know if she can turn it off. I feel like there is no she's gone beyond the point of choice. There's no her emotions are controlling her. She got upset and she just ran with the righteousness all the way through. She is in the right, everybody else is in the wrong. And so she's going to do whatever comes naturally, which is what happens to a child. A child does this because they have no emotional regulation. They don't understand what they're doing. They don't understand what they're supposed to do. It's just all very unpleasant. And what I'm going to do is start kicking my legs and making noises and destroying things because that's somehow that's something. But I haven't learned how to do anything else because in public, you have to comport yourself in a different way. No, she's not doing that. I think she's beyond control, but this is a professional. She's saying that's what she says.
Yeah, okay,
So I suppose if we were treating this, it would be that you would have to try and get her to the point where she realizes that she's angry, and this is all that can happen ahead of her. She needs to try and find out a different way to deal with it, because this is her adaptation. This is how she deals with being unpleasant, like having unpleasant feelings. This is her way of doing it. And I guess that's what the doctor is saying by her. This is not her first encounter that happens this way. This is just the way she lives her life.
I'm sorry. My person is fine.
And now you see she changes tactics. So there's a man, he crouches down, he speaks slowly to her, and she tries to elicit sympathy from him. So she knows exactly how to handle males.
She went from you fucking bitch, all of this this abrasive stuff, and then she gets to the whimpery, oh, come here. Like you can hear the difference in her voice. It's annoying, but kids do the same thing. They do the same thing but you can forgive them because they're children. They don't know how to deal with their brains. Not that I do as well, but I'm not doing this. I can tell you I'm not doing this. I'm yelling at the computer, but I let that happen. She's never experienced negative consequences that are on par with her negative actions. Yeah, so she's never had to go, oh, but also if she even does, this is a negative consequence, right? I don't know if this is something she would now go, oh, let me learn from this and then not do it again. This has happened before. So she has experienced negative consequences, but she's never learned from them. That on par, she would never think of her actions as wrong. It was she was wronged. That's the point. She was wronged. She was made angry, therefore she is in the right. So I'm on the whole thing of she actually doesn't even perceive consequences. Only until she perceives consequences, realizes that this is negative and she deserves better. There's another thing with borderline, like deserve better. You can actually have a better life. But you hate yourself so much with borderline, so it's ugh. If violent and racial, I'm not fighting back to avoid the other authorities. I might use methods later. Was she drunk? Yes, she was. Q, she was. But yeah, even then, it's still like this is what happens when you have lower inhibitions. Instead of like maybe you swear or something, you're spitting on people. Manipulation has worked before, it'll work again. Exactly, that's what one of the things you get from the behavioral panel that Greg always says is the organism does what helps the organism survive, and this is how she survived.
And when that doesn't work, she goes back right away to kicking and shouting and screaming profanities. This pivot is like from a desperate child to violent aggressor. It's not disorganized. This is patterned. She's done this before, and it reveals a style of maneuvering others through emotional coercion. If cry if it works, and rage if it doesn't. And here you see she's wheeled out. So this illustrates the core features of borderline personality disorder, which is emotional instability, impulsive behavior, manipulation, and harm to yourself and to others. And so why do I say that this is the female form of antisocial personality disorder? This is evolutionary psychologists have established that females tend to cloak their aggression in subtler forms like moral outrage.
How dare you?
Because
That's a great. That is. Oh, I love this girl. I love this. Yes, the moral outrage. That's how we do it. But that was real aggression that she did there, though. She did real aggression, and it's just that because she is not as strong as a man, she was able to be taken down. We've seen men behave this way. So yeah, she's hey Instance, it's been a while. Good to see you. Yeah, she was properly aggressive. How do we think of that? How do we make that female? Female, oh, well, I suppose she insulted, but men do that when they're males do that when they're aggressive too. Aggression is I'm going to find any way to hurt you. I'm going to insult you with words. I'm going to spit on you. I'm going to pull your hair. I'm going to just make your life generally unpleasant. So that's what she did as an antisocial. She doesn't care about what she's doing to other people's lives. It doesn't matter to her.
They're physically more vulnerable, and they have an existential need to preserve social cohesion. And now you see that moral outrage is tied to progressive causes. So like, I'm such a good person. I'm all about justice and compassion.
I love these clips. I can't handle it, man. Look at this chick.
Progressive causes. So like, I'm such a
Climate protester gives surprisingly zen interview while being dragged along by police. I'm doing this for my son. And she's like, look at this girl.
good person. I'm all about justice.
The government inaction on climate change is a death sentence to us all. So yes, they're using this cause for them to go and let out this aggression. It's not actually about the cause. It's about hey, this is an acceptable way that I can go and do stuff because I have the moral high ground. I'm able to do this. My aggression means something. Okay, I'm not like an horrible man who just does aggression for aggression's sake. I have a real reason, a movement.
And compassion, so I'm going to pour paint over this Van Gogh painting because I'm just so
Stop oil. I'm here because I don't have a future.
good and so moral.
You're here because you don't want a job and you're not going to have a job, and this is what you want to do.
You see the same on university campuses, in riots. You see the traits, the borderline and histrionic traits play out there with the rapid shifts of emotion. You see them going from one moment they're a tearful victim, and the next moment they're a violent aggressor shouting in your face, sometimes while crying. And of course, you also see the narcissism, how they present themselves as a sort of moral authorities over issues they know nothing about. And a very interesting thing, how they are so interested in women's suppression in the West and talk about that at length, while showing absolutely no sympathy for how women are treated in the regimes they defend. So they cloak their own aggression.
Oh, there's the double think that they do. No. We don't have to make. It doesn't matter. Okay, that culture over there is fine. It's fine for me. Okay, that culture, it's fine. I will support it, even though it's not near me and it oppresses women. I'm going to protest in favor of it. Okay, and then when I'm at home, I'm gonna carry on about Trump being a misogynist. As long as I get what I want, I don't think you're understanding the woman thing. It's just not even the woman thing, the leftist thing. I get what I want.
While exhibiting grandiosity, lack of empathy, and massive entitlement. And of course, like I mentioned before, you see the histrionic traits all over.
I would wonder that on the right, just thinking as I said, oh, that's a leftist trait. That's a human trait. If you are pathological on either side of the aisle politically, you will go towards extremism. These are the ways that you will interact in in politics. So I suppose the only thing that we could probably say is, well, on the left, there's just more pathological people. So there's more prevalence of them. But then when you look at groypers and things like that, they aren't exactly out on the streets, are they? No, you're looking at Antifa. No, Antifa's on the left. Yeah, groypers, I would say there's just more online pathology, more male pathology. Anyway, let's see what she's saying.
Over social media, you see there was an excellent example of this. You had a woman named Natalie Reynolds. She manipulated a homeless woman to jump into a lake and to film it and post it on TikTok. And
I'm so, you know what? I'm glad I stay off TikTok, guys. I mean, I was posting the touch grass stuff. Damn.
She was then subsequently banned from TikTok. And then,
yes, I think I did see this woman. I recognize this. I made it. Oh, God, that infuriates me. But that's the point. She wants to infuriate us, so we go to her and we tell her how infuriating she is.
She was then subsequently banned from TikTok. And then she went to the company's headquarters with the camera, did a tearful display, demanded reinstatement, showing absolutely no remorse for what she had done, only this very practiced, I'm the victim. And of course, the need for admiration, which is the histrionicism, and a complete refusal for refusing accountability.
This is the way it is, huh? Okay, and because you're a girl and you're knocking on there, you don't have people coming at you and tackling you to the ground and putting you in cuffs. You don't get that, because you see, this is what I meant in the beginning of the video, guys. Before I even watched this, I was like, okay, society affords women a certain privilege because they are women. Okay, I'm not saying that we don't need protection. I'm not saying we need to be beaten, please. Okay, but what I'm saying is women take advantage of that courtesy by doing this sort of stuff. And you know what? The thing is, there are men that are antisocial that are not on that contract. They don't mind hitting a woman around. And that's not me blaming the woman, but they will come across one. They'll come across a man that is not going to give them their female privilege. And it will be a problem. Like, we already have men that are around there, they're beating women up willy-nilly, okay? But you coming and banging on people's doors and things like that, do you think that that's going to go well? Do you think that a man can do that and get away with it? Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm dead. I can't do this anymore.
I think to understand why we're seeing a rise in these traits, because we need to understand how they develop. And because these aren't like...
Yes, everybody listen to Sean Connery. Give it a bit back. No. I don't even think I've ever been shook for, like, you know, to make me come back to my senses or anything. I've actually just always been held when I'm distressed. So I've never been like, snap out of it, you know, that sort of thing. And no, nobody's ever done that to me. Why do you hate yourself? Ha! Yes, instance, I've internalized all the misogyny. It's all of it.
Like other mental illnesses, they don't appear after an unpredictable or extraordinary event. They develop slowly over time. When because these aren't like other mental illnesses. They don't appear after an unpredictable or extraordinary event. They develop slowly over time. When
yeah, it's not PTSD.
In adolescence, the groundwork for these disorders are already laid. They are shaped by temperament, by attachment patterns, and environment.
I just remembered another tantrum that I threw straight after a breakup, and I'm just thinking, holy crap! This is because the whole joke I was saying in the description of this thing is that, oh, we're going to find out that I'm a pathological female. When I was an adolescent, I was doing things that classify me as borderline, but it seems like I internalized that instead. Instead of going angry outside to other people, it's anger inside. Kitty just huggies from Gordon when she's being insane. Yes, that's what's so nice about just having a person that's bigger than you. It's just that he just can just wrap himself like around me, and then I'm fine. I'm contained. I've been I need constant reassurance during dating. I have a lack of trust. Yeah, I'm like that as well. It's just like, no, you have to always. I always need to. Are you sure that you love me? Are you sure that am I okay? Are we okay? Are you? And you actually eventually, it's just like, just stop.
And at the core of this is a lack of consistent maternal presence, because it's no secret that at the root of these disorders are attachment needs that aren't...
Oh gosh, that just reminds me, there's so many books I want to read. There's like the actual, like, basically the gospel of attachment. There is a whole attachment theory book, which, yeah. P.S. if you were a worm, I wouldn't love you anymore. Thanks, Maddie.
fulfilled. And I saw this with the girls I treated.
Sorry, Gordon has said the same thing.
It was always about the mother. that was the relationship where they had the most wounds, and they would come Monday morning if they'd had a fight over the weekend with their mother, and they would have started a humongous tattoo, like things like this. They go pierce themselves after a fight with their mother.
Hey. My tattoos, I've had my therapist ask about my tattoos and why I did them. Yeah, I didn't do my tattoos when I was too young. These were in my 20s. The way that they went like this. My first tattoo, I was 19. But still, yeah, it wasn't about other people. It was about me. It was about me being me, solidifying who I am. But yeah, doing that sort of thing is definitely some sort of self-harm, outer visibility of harm. I'm harming myself. I've got pain, so you need to see it.
It's also why we see that you have a sibling who develops something like this and another sibling who doesn't, because the difference lies in the personality traits. The personality traits are 40 to 60% heritable. We're pretty much set with the personality that we develop, and depending on what kind of personality you have, you'd need a different kind of parenting. You have to adjust yourself as a parent.
Oh no, guys, if you want to adjust yourself as a parent. Cool. Yes, parenting. Nobody has perfect parents. It's just not how it works. Okay, you love your parents. That's a very good thing. You're very lucky to have parents you love. I'm very lucky to have parents I love. Love your parents. Call your mom. Call your dad. Do that thing, that stuff. But there is now a trend that I've heard about. It's called reparenting. And what has happened is people have decided to take the idea of reparenting, which is a psychotherapeutic discussion that you're supposed to have. If I was my own parent, because my parents did something bad or did not help me the way I really wanted to be helped when I was a little child. Now, let me just think about how I would treat that person, that little me, and blah, blah, blah. It's a way of reframing things that are happening in your life through therapy, and that's it. Cool. You're supposed to do that. Now, people on TikTok are freaking talking to themselves like they're little babas. I will look for it for you if we have time. It is disturbing. I hope she goes through and goes into it. When did I get the idea of tattooing? Oh, I just loved tattoos. I was I liked goth stuff. I liked alternative things. And so tattoos were a natural attraction for me. And then I wanted something I love on my skin. And then also when I saw how beautiful a tattoo could be, oh, absolutely lost it.
To the personality of your child. So that's why you can see these variations in siblings. And humans are just as responsive to their environment as animals are. You see, in depending on your environment, you can down or up regulate these traits. So you see, for example, in high predation environments, birds will produce more anxious offspring than in a low predation environment. If you think about it, it's completely logical. And the same with us. And so I think this can really explain why we're seeing a slow drift into more maladaptive traits, the traits that define personality disorders. And when I say
okay, so this is the environment stuff. We're having the environment where more maladaptive behavior is actually, people are exposed to more maladaptive behavior around them. Their friends are doing it, they're doing it. This is the same sort of idea of, say, transgender contagion or social contagion. It's actually eventually, because all of this is sort of acceptable in some way, even though socially we're all like, hello, you're still spitting on people, but you're seeing it on TikTok, you're seeing all of this sort of stuff. It changes your environment. Yeah, so I'm seeing what she means, that it will change what actually comes out in your population. I never saw my tattoos. I went and looked for elements, and then my artist put it together. I worked with the guy that was tattooing me, and he put it together and worked on it. I'm actually going to get this retouched. This one here, retouched when I go back to South Africa. My favorite joke about my tattoos is, oh, you were hit with a wet newspaper. That's what you look like. That was the first thing that my stepfather-in-law, my father-in-law, basically said to me when he saw it.
traits, the best way to understand that is the 5-factor model. I know some people don't like it, but we don't have a lot of good research in psychology, but this is one of them. It catered cross-culturally. It's very good research, and they describe traits along 5 dimensions. We've talked about this before. It's neuroticism, extroversion, conscientiousness, agreeableness, and openness. And under these traits lie a deeper system. Alarms, so we have threat detection.
Okay, so fear, anxiety, disgust, alarm system. Okay, I love diagrams. Yay, look at it. Okay, so we've got neurotic, cluster B, cluster C, paranoid. So all of these this is what you have you have a high alarm system in a borderline. You have a high histrionic, you have a high incentive, you're looking for things, needs. Okay, so it's all dialed up to 11. Sheesh, agreeable, dependent, or avoidant. Yeah.
Reward seeking, bonding and affiliation, and control, and need to regulate everything. And these are evolutionary action systems that tell us when to flee, fight, when to attach to other people, and when to take risks. Flee.
I love this. Alarm. Yeah, I'm just looking antisocial. So you antisocial, I'm not getting alarmed. Detached, cluster A, avoidance. I'm not looking for things. I'm not exploring. I'm not open to things. Antagonistic. Okay, so cluster B, paranoid, schizoid. So they don't want to attach to people, so it doesn't matter. They are able to be they're not able to play nice. Then we've got control system, foresight, long-term goals. Yes, absolutely. Here you'll be disinhibited with your control. That's what we spoke about that girl in the plane. She didn't have control over her emotions. She didn't have control over her body, over the way that she reacted to her emotions. So yeah, you can see it's pretty awesome. I like a visual representation. You know me.
Fight, when to attach to other people, and when to take risks. And all they do is want to guide us towards reproduction and survival. And so I think a very good way of thinking about personality disorders is when one or more of these systems are thrown into overdrive or left underdeveloped. And cluster B traits, they often reflect a hyperactive alarm system. So they're very sensitive to negative emotions. They're very afraid all the time, and a very underdeveloped affiliation system. So they have this extreme need for attachment. And so it's then obvious then when we outsource so much maternal presence, people with an excess of these action systems, the excess need for attachment and security, they will suffer more.
So they're looking for security. So they're always looking for security from someone else external. And if that person changes in any way possible, or any slight way, it is the end of the world. It is that person hates me. It's horrible. So it's high expectations of the people that you're connected to as well. Unrealistic. That's what's difficult. It's that it's kind of like, oh, you have to be you are everything to me, and if you're not acting like you're everything to me, then I'm nothing. It's a crazy wild spiral that they're in. And yeah, cool. How do we relate that to the social media part and this cultural thing of what you're supposed to be needy? I don't know. We're getting mixed signals when it comes to what women are supposed to be like
than others. And they learn very early in childhood that only through extreme emotional displays will I get what I need to be calm. And then the next question is, when does this become a pathology? So over time, these maladaptive patterns will lead to them not being able to lead a normal life. And that is by definition a psychiatric pathology. You can imagine how vulnerable.
Hey there, Josh. Hey, you cats and kittens. How you doing?
This diagnosis is to the bias of the observer. You know, for example, what are we to take as markers of impulsivity? For example, markers of an inability to think long term, right? It used to be that tattoos would be that, or piercing your nose. If you go on TikTok, you know, all of these girls have pierced nose.
Yeah, but you can take your piercing out, and also when you're it's not very impulsive when you're getting big ass tattoos and you've spent months and months planning to get that tattoo. But I don't know. That's me coping, I suppose.
And to me, I will take that as a marker of you not being able to think long term, but others won't. And today, these things are so normalized that we no longer see them as clinically relevant at all. And
okay, so that's a great marker, literally a visual marker of how we used to view things as like, so tattoos were a sign of pathology, of something's wrong with somebody. That's what you're doing. So and you shouldn't do it, and that's what it's about. It's a pathological thing that you're doing to yourself. That now perception of tattoos themselves has changed. It's not, if you have a tattoo, you're in a gang. I mean, my sister hated tattoos. She's 5 years older than me. She thought I was horrible for getting tattoos. And then, I don't know, maybe like another 5 years later, after I got my first tattoo, she got one. And she loves her tattoos. She's got several as well. So yeah, the perception of tattoos has changed socially. Does that mean now the prevalence of using tattoos as a pathological outlet that's increased? Because she's trying to say that social changes in environment coincide with pathology. I don't know. We just do have a lot more acceptance for tattoos. I really don't see people with tattoos as having a problem. It depends on the tattoo. Maybe if it is just like if it's a noughts and crosses game that they've put on themselves, I wonder why. What does that tell me about that person? I don't know. I'm not thinking. And maybe also where the tattoo is as well. Is it on their face? That sort of thing. That now I suppose you have to ramp it up for it to be debilitating. I've been bought out by Big Tattoo. I freaking paid for the tattoos. They're fucking expensive, man. I just wanted something beautiful on my arms, I suppose.
You know, a lot of therapists themselves have tattoos everywhere. And this is problematic because they serve the same psychological function. You know, a tattoo is a way of coping with emotional pain in a physical way. It distracts from emotional pain. That's why they go.
You know what? The reason so distract from emotional pain. For me, it's the way that the reason I got certain things tattooed into me is reminders, symbolism. That's what it's it has meaning to me. It has a lot of meaning to me. So yeah, I would agree that yes, it's some sort of pain, some sort of negativity or whatever, but it's supposed to remind me of how to deal with things. It's supposed to also just be a beautiful expression of what has gone on inside. That's the whole idea.
Well, that's why they cut themselves. That's why, you know, they put their fingers down their throats to throw up their food. That's you know, that's why we have the self.
The thing is, my tattoos are making me prettier. Whereas if I'm harming myself, if I'm cutting myself, it's not making me prettier. It's not a beautiful thing. It's not a work of art. It's an actual just pain. It's for the maybe she's thinking of the actual pain of getting a tattoo is yeah.
Harm element of the disorder. It comes from a place of not being able to know what to do with your emotional pain, so you turn to physical pain. But if you are so ideologically biased that you refuse to see piercings and tattoos and other forms of, or you taking lesbian dance theory as a degree, if you refuse to see that as a dysfunctional long-term planning, you know, of course a lot of women are going to go undiagnosed. So that's one element of why.
Okay, so that's why they don't go undiagnosed, is because we walk among you. We walk among you with our tattoos, and those are signs that used to be quite prevalent and quite big, and now they're not that much. They've garnered more acceptance. Okay, but yeah, there's lots of things. Let's now we can look at makeup. Okay, the amount of makeup and Botox and things like that, all kinds of modification to the way you look. We can look at those things to see if they are maladaptive. Though there's let's look at that. Let's look at those kinds of things where you are altering your appearance for a certain reason. That can be also pathological. I suppose I'm just getting a bit butthurt about tattoos. I love my tattoos, but I'm not gonna be out here saying, oh well, I'm just perfect and my tattoos have nothing to do with my emotions and all of that. That's not it.
Why the prevalence rate isn't officially recognized. Another is the ideological gymnastics that researchers do around this topic. The most commonly cited prevalence rate they use, 5.9%, comes from this NESARC study, 2008, where they ignore people who are just below the threshold. They ignore those who have intermittent symptoms.
Well, below the threshold, there is a threshold for a reason. Maybe the threshold should be lower. Is that what we're asking for? Yeah, well, I suppose ignoring who's below the threshold runs the risk of you just leaving them until they go over the threshold. So you can't ignore that person. You should still be looking into them just because they're not officially diagnosable. That's the thing, though, when it comes to insurance, okay, medical insurance, you are not officially diagnosed, you're below threshold, therefore you won't get cover for your treatment. How are you going to, I suppose you could get, if you could get a grant and that would pay for the person's treatment and then you can study them through that. That's how I'd go about it. But I'm in agreement here. Yes, the threshold is still a threshold. It will still have to exist. But ignoring below threshold and intermittent people ignores an aspect of what happens before you become absolutely disordered, sufficiently disordered for your insurance to pay.
That still cause major dysfunction. They exclude overlapping symptoms with mood or substance issues. I mean, I don't think I've really seen any patients with this who don't turn to some substance abuse or another. And you can really make a good argument that substance issues are central to cluster B.
So it's neither here nor there. It's getting to the core reason as to why you get the tattoos and understanding the reasoning, process it as being adaptive or maladaptive. Yeah, exactly. But then how do we take that and put that onto what she was talking about before about the outbursts over there? I suppose you would take it as a cluster of the behavior, right? You look at an outburst and then you've got, oh, this person's got tattoos. What's the story behind those tattoos? Is it an impulse, an example of impulse, or is it an example of self-harm? So you would go and look at that, but you really can't. Well, you will go and, like, as soon as you see someone with a tattoo, you're like, that's a pathological person. That's somebody sick. You're sick. You're sick. No, we can't do that. But it is something doctors can't. I suppose they can't ignore in practice. Tattoos, piercings, wild hair colors are indicators of impulse control, lack of impulse control. A few intentional, meaningful ones, great. A bunch of sloppy ones, nah, red flag. Yeah, exactly. Also, when I think of the nose ring, right, the fact that people, it's always the septum one, okay? That's the theory about the septum piercing. It's very shocking to have the septum piercing. It's not dainty. It's not like, I suppose, I don't know if Hindus have it or something, a little tiny little stud. That I wouldn't think of someone with a little stud in their nose as being that crazy, whereas somebody with a huge, thick, those stretcher things as well in their nose, because it is shocking, they're doing it. But if everybody started doing it, it wouldn't be as shocking. So we would have to find another thing that's shocking. We would have to find a different body modification, like this thing over here. Were you drinking when you got tatted? No, absolutely not.
Interviews, they're done by lay people who aren't used to talking to borderliners or histrionics, so they very easily miss nuance, or they don't know how to recognize the patterns. And worst of all, they rely on lifetime recall of these people who are known for their lack of insight. We do have other studies which actually show a rise in these traits. The research of Jean Twenge, which I've talked about a lot here on the show, she reports rising narcissism among college students. And here's another study which finds
but that's because it's all about you. It's I guess Christians will also answer that and say, yes, it's because you're ungodly. You don't have a God anymore. You're not thinking about things other than yourself. It's all about you. It's all about you. I was watching Stranger Things last night or the night before, and one of the main speeches that one of the characters says is, she goes, "Oh, it wasn't about my crush or whatever. It was about me. It's always been about me." Like, but I'm not saying that we must now forget ourselves completely, but when everything is always about you, hello, how, of course we're going to get into narcissism. Prevalence rates, trends of borderline personality disorder symptoms, and self-injurious behaviors in college students from, okay. Oh, I just want to read all these. This gives me good memories of reading research for essays and things like that. And I would read and be like, oh, this has got to go in my essay. And then I would land up being late for my bloody essay because I've been reading too much stuff because I didn't plan properly.
Found measurable rise in certain traits over just 5 years, particularly among female students. Now, they choose to focus only on self-harm and alcohol abuse, and they specifically leave out common behavioral markers like tattoos, piercings, and impulsivity. So this shows how easily
Okay, no. Tattoos, like Creamage has said, you can't leave you would need to evaluate tattoos as impulsive. You need to look at whether they're impulsive tattoos. Was it we went out on the town and then I got a tattoo? Is it that, or did I plan for months? Did I make a folder? Did I take all my references together? Did I save my money over several months to try to get my get my enough money to actually even make the appointment? And then once the artist was even available, it was 3 months before I could see him. There was a consultation. There was all the tattooing itself is change. It's not just that you go and you pick something off the wall. You have artists. You have, like, I'd call him my artist. So I think there's just a little bit of a lack of understanding there. You would have to have some sort of marker or in your research, you would have to figure out whether that tattoo was impulsive. Or just, yes, track that there is a tattoo there and see if further investigation is warranted. But I'm not with her on it immediately being a sign of impulse, a lack of impulse control. Do you consider yourself heavily tattooed? You do just have the wrist, well, yeah, my cuffs, basically, my lower arms. I tend to think of extreme out of the ordinary body mods as signs of antisocial personality. Yes, out of the ordinary, extreme. Look, where I am, my tattoos are a bit out of the ordinary. I'm in the Middle East, of course. It's not common here, but South Africa, yeah, tattoos it's great. It's normal. Yeah, the out of the ordinary body things that are a bit shocking when you first see somebody, that seems antisocial, it seems deliberate, it seems like that's an affront. But I think people could look at me and find me offensive as well. There is a reason that you need to dress a certain way when you go to work and things like that. Piercings, wearing earrings is different than shoving a yes through your yes, exactly, a bar. Yes, exactly. Wearing earrings. See, earrings, maybe at some point we thought earrings were quite out there. Okay, we thought that they were mutilations, or they were only reserved for certain priests or something. But now it's normal. And I mean, I got my ears pierced when I was like 1. They were doing that. Okay, I was 12 months old and I got earrings. These things, this here has been here since I was 12 months. And this one, I guess I've got this piercing here. Yeah, I don't think you guys have seen it. This one there. I did have several up my ears. I had one here as well. But that was it. They came out. But yeah, my sister, my mother, and my sister have more piercings than I do. So anyway,
criteria bend with culture. So this last study shows 2 things: that these traits can increase over short period of time, so they can upregulate. And the other thing is that they show how easily they leave out key symptoms of the disorder. I mean, it's just ridiculous how they can just choose to leave out tattoos, piercings, and impulsivity. I mean, you do that if your intention is to obscure the true prevalence rate. The worst thing about this is that there is a push to erase the disorder, the diagnosis altogether because of the judgment on female.
Oh, no. I'm not with you on that then. No. That's another thing. It's the whole idea of we now need to erase mental disorders because of the judgment. But it's like, no. There are classifications for a reason. Like, I was talking bad about, we're annoyed about labels and things like that. But from a medical standpoint, you do need to classify as closely as you can so that you can treat accordingly. If we don't know what you have, when we don't know what to give you to make you better, I suppose, we don't know how to treat you. So not having those categories and saying, oh, well, everything has always been fine. Nobody has ever said to you, oh, you have a mental disorder, that means that you are less human. It's just, this is the way it is. And yes, we had that previously, but now we have over the top acceptance of mental illness. It's to the point where it's not allowed to be an illness anymore, and that's where she's getting at. She's like, no, you don't want it to be a disorder at all. Nobody is saying that now we must get rid of people out of if they have a disorder. We need to treat them, and by even the classification of a disorder, we're not treating them. We're acting like it's normal. We're literally normalizing it. We're making it fun.
Behavior. There's a recent Guardian article that illustrates exactly this. They're interviewing leading psychiatrists in the field, and they're openly advocating for replacing the borderline personality disorder diagnosis with complex post-traumatic stress disorder, CPTSD. And they
so it's still a disorder though. So is this the same sort of thing as we had with it was gendered what's the name? It was gender identity disorder. Okay, that you had your identity. It's the same sort of thing as it's not double personality. It's dissociative identity disorder. That whole thing that you're dissociated from your identity. You have multiple identities, whatever. Even people don't even believe that exists. But yeah, we had gender identity disorder. It was in the DSM, and now we've changed it to just gender dysphoria. It's like it's just a bit of symptoms because we have to soften the language. Like, that blew my mind. But it's still in there. It's still in the DSM. That there is still a classification. They just changed the branding of the mental illness because we can't call it a mental illness because that's offensive. If you want to know about that, go and watch my diagramming of a debate with I think her name's it's my latest debate diagram about gender identity, and just the way that this woman is offended by the idea of classifying transgenderism as a pathology, as opposed to just, it's just normal, it's fine, it's just a thing.
Justify this by citing studies showing that borderline is associated with childhood abuse and neglect more than any other personality disorder. Fine. They say the rate of child abuse in these disorders range from 30 to 90%, but they refuse to address this gap. It's a pretty big difference between 30 and 90%.
Yeah, that's pretty big. 30 to 90%. Who has what? Okay. If you have that much of a range, then we need to go in and figure out why. What are we getting? What is the research looking like? What kind of research are we conducting for the 30% ones that give us 30%? And what are the ones that are giving us 90%? Is there something that we're doing to change our results? That's insane.
And they just gloss over that completely. They show that there's an analysis of 97 studies where 71.1% of those diagnosed report at least one traumatic childhood event. But these are self-reports. They're self-reports of a group.
A traumatic childhood event is not child abuse. That is not the same thing. Okay, anybody can look back in their life and find something that rocked their world when they were young. And anything can really rock your world when you're a child. Okay, you can just, I moved school from this school to this school, and there was a bully at that school. Traumatic experience. That is not child abuse. Changing schools is not child abuse. But we're also doing this. We're softening everything to the point where everybody is just horribly, complexly traumatized.
Of people who have a skewed perception of reality, who are extremely emotionally volatile and prone to manipulate others. So this is all based on self-reports from those kind of people. And we have to, when you talk about...
That's true, yes. By definition, we are getting self-reports from very histrionic, really emotional, unstable people. So that's what you're saying. They're a kind of unreliable narrator in that. But then that's offensive. We're being offensive now, so we can't do that. Therefore, we're just going to leave the studies as they are.
This is called adverse child experiences. There's a report, and then there's a scale called adverse child experience.
Yes, Ziggs, that's it. I'm gonna go and get some. I'm gonna get a huge bag of chappies when I go to South Africa, and or actually, I'll go to the South African store here and pay like double the price. Yeah, and I'll just get some chappies wrappers, and I'll let you guys know what I've heard. Isn't that insinuating that BPD is inherently environmental by calling it complex PTSD? Yes. But then again, I suppose PTSD could be yes, it's triggered by environment, but we still have the propensity, the proclivity, genetic proclivity in there. So, but yeah, either way, what they're saying is there has to be some sort of inciting incident. Couldn't we just call it a comorbidity? That's usually what people would do.
Experience scale, 61% of Americans, they score positively on the scale. It's meant as a research tool to % of Americans. They score scale called adverse child experiences scale.
Adverse child experiences scale. Okay, yes.
61% of Americans, they score positively on the scale.
Okay, so 61, because life, hear me out, will give you negative experiences. Wow. So here, did a parent or other adult in the household often swear at you, insult you, put you down, or humiliate you? Act in a way that made you afraid that you might be physically hurt. Okay, so first of all, we've got yes and no. We don't have how often this was. We just have the binary of yes or no. That's all we have. It's either did you, oh, I can remember someone doing that, but for me, it's no, it wasn't in my household, so no. Did a parent or other adult in the household? See, that's the thing, or other adult in the household. What do you mean? Like every day? I was exposed to bad adults as a child, but push, grab, slap, or throw something at you. So if you have just like one, but this is saying often, it should really, really stick to the point that often, daily, weekly. Touch or fondle you, or have you touched their body in a sexual way? No, that's crazy. Did you often feel that no one in your family loved you or thought you were important or special? Now, do you see that over there? That one, number 4. That can be on you. You're busy thinking that. That doesn't mean that your parents did this to you. Your family didn't look out for each other, feel close to each other, support each other. Or, so these are or. Did you often feel that you didn't have enough to eat? Ooh. Had to wear dirty clothes? Okay, that's definitely, that's child abuse version. Were your parents ever separated or divorced? Okay, that is, again, an prevalence of divorce as well is massive. Can't read that. Did you live with anyone who is a problem drinker or alcoholic or used street drugs? Geez, America. Was a household member depressed or mentally ill, or did household member attempt suicide? Did a household member go to prison? So 60% of Americans have had all of these.
Meant as a research tool to see, how we can apply preventive measures. It was never meant in a clinical sort of way. And if you've ever been bullied at school, you'll score on this. So it doesn't really prove anything at all. And I think the worst thing here is that
the fact that you score on it matters what you use the score on. Like, is it okay? This means you have complex PTSD. No, it means you had experiences in your life.
don't distinguish between
I mean, that's not. I'm not saying that they're good. That kids should have that. I'm just saying. I see why she criticizes that thing, because it's like, listen, if you get bullied, you would score positively. You would be on that list. So psychometric sorts of tests and things like that, they can be just misused. That's why I say it's really funny, because we try to make psychology a hard science. We try to make it like, no, it's just you scored this on this scale, therefore, it's science. It's like, we are making very highly qualitative stuff. We're trying to translate it into quantitative. It's always fascinated me. It's not like I've completely cancelled out all of psychological research. It's just that you've got to always have that grain of salt that is, humans are so complex. What have we learned here? What can we learn from just this little small bit of information, small caption, I don't know, capsule of humanity?
perceived abuse and neglect, and verified abuse and neglect. Another thing is that when borderline women say, when they say I've been abused, what they largely mean is psychological abuse. Many things can qualify as psychological abuse. Normal discipline can qualify as psychological abuse if it's told in a certain way. And it's very comfortable. It's very palatable to say that they have a trauma. I think absolutely they have a perceived trauma. If you need more from your parents than they gave you, you're going to feel very negatively about your childhood. But when you say I have a trauma, that is automatically something that was done to you, and not something in your behavior, in your pattern, in your personality that you do again and again that leads to you not having a normal life. So it's
I think that what's actually happening with the idea of trauma and things like that is that when you actually go into therapy and things like that, where you use these words, what can happen is you take those words and then you go onto TikTok and you do what you like with the reparenting thing. You have something that has actually been developed, that's been discussed. It's something that's good for you. So recognizing experiences in your youth that shaped you and made you feel a certain way, that is not the bad thing. Okay. Perceived trauma is, yes, I perceived it. I count. My perception does count as a human. But what am I going to do about it? Because I can change my perception, or I can learn from my perception. I can do all of those stuff. That's what good therapy is for. I should be able to take accountability for who I am now. One of the main things that I went through in therapy was this problem. Yes, you've had it several times in your youth and whatever. That's not now. You have to deal with what is right in front of you now, and you're a grown up. One of the main things is like, you're a grown up now. You don't have to deal with, you don't have to be a kid anymore. So I think what happens nowadays is that the people go to therapy and they hear all these nice fancy terms about trauma and stuff, and they use it as the non-accountability salad. They just use it. Look, I've got this trauma. Look, I did this. Look, I've got this. And they actually don't deal with it. They wear it as badges of pride and they don't move forward from it. It's not the old school psychological, way of dealing with things. And that I seriously, I wish she could talk about the freaking reparenting thing, because it really does show how the clinical stuff that's happening with therapy, it is taken out into the public sphere, the pop psychology sphere, and it just goes wild. And there are practitioners, I think, as she's said, there are practitioners that add to this. Absolutely.
much more palatable to say I have a trauma disorder than I have a borderline personality disorder. So of course, ideologically possessed psychiatrists and psychologists are going to want to say that trauma broke this woman, rather than admit that she has a problem with her emotional regulation. She has narcissistic entitlement. She has relational aggression. She's manipulative. But they have no hesitation in saying that about men. We've no problem saying he's so antisocial. He's a psychopath. We hear it all the time about men who are nowhere near that disorder. Now,
we only say that about women that have committed crime. So you have to go all the way to a crime, and then we'll say stuff about you. But otherwise, go to your therapist, and she's going to, yes, queen, you all the way.
These clinicians, they explicitly claim that borderline personality disorder is a gendered diagnosis and unfairly judge female behavior. They're right. They judge female behavior, but not unfairly. And they claim there's no symptom that a borderline personality disordered person has that a PTSD patient doesn't also have. And so this is how they just collapse the BPD diagnosis into a trauma category. And the sleight of hand is that they don't mention the traits that are unique to borderline personality disorder: identity disturbance, manipulation, impulsivity, self-harm, splitting, chronic emptiness. But these are fiendishly difficult to define and very easy to overlook. And they are often left completely to a clinician's subjective judgment. And
yeah, unfortunately, that's what has to happen. A clinician's subjective judgment is what happens when you are sitting in front of your patient. When I'm sitting in front of you, doctor, you are going to have to view me as an individual, and you're going to use all of your knowledge, and you're going to try and figure out where I sit in that knowledge, and you're going to take all of these cards out and see how I react to them, essentially. Not the actual, I'm not being physical, but you're going to take out all your knowledge and see how I react and work with me and find answers with me. It's a very complex situation, but I think that there are rinse and repeat therapists out there that just say they say the same thing, and it's fine.
What really concerns me is that when we reduce cluster B pathologies to mere trauma responses, we completely blind ourselves to the growing prevalence. We don't want to admit how easily certain temperaments go out of control. What happens when they're left untamed? What happens when excessively neurotic women are not taught to emotionally regulate? We're trained to think that women are so harmless. They're just, they're just innocent creatures, just full of good impulses.
Hold up. Yeah, they name it, then what? This is what I'm thinking with. So you've put it into the trauma, a mere trauma. She said the words, a mere trauma response. Well, wouldn't you want to deal with the trauma as well? Again, treatment-wise, wouldn't we still be trying to find the agency? Maybe it's just my perception of what therapy does, but I think most therapeutic approaches do this. They look for the power in the patient. They look clients, because we by the time I even heard about it, we were calling them clients because language matters. You're clients, you're not a patient. So you're supposed to find the power inside the person for them to change, for them to deal with what has happened previously. So even if it is classified as PTSD or complex PTSD, you don't walk around with that as if it's a badge that you go and just say, sorry, here, I've got complex PTSD. So if I have a tantrum on the train, you're going to have to just deal with it. It's like me being allergic to penicillin or something. That's not what we should be advocating for. So even if we do misclassify or we should be dealing with all kinds of issues anyway. But she's kind of saying, yeah, if you misdiagnose, you're not going to get the right treatment anyway. But still, it sounds to me as if she's saying, if you classify it as complex PTSD, you're not going to get treatment for it.
No, they can wreak havoc, and we're not doing anything to prevent them to spiral into pathology. So when we shift the focus from misbehavior to trauma, responsibility and accountability completely fades. And those are the things they already have trouble with. And what concerns me a lot is that when they then receive trauma therapy for their trauma, supposed trauma, then treatment will be about excavating presumed memories and sheltering them, rather than helping them learn to make better choices, learn to behave differently. And so now that we know all of this, the question
I see what she means there. She explained it a bit more. If I just let the video go on further, that's what she meant, is that, yeah, you will get the wrong treatment. But maybe, yeah, that again, you just need a good clinician. I suppose I've been spoiled with good clinicians, man, because you can go and you can call something trauma, and you can still use CBT and things like that about you. Like, you can still change your behavior. And look, I'm acting as if I'm doing great and I'm amazing. That's not what I mean. But the major stuff that I've had to deal with is dealt with. Like I recognize it because of these good clinicians that I've been exposed to. Oh, just one, actually, the best one is my last one. But yeah, so I think even if you've written that one diagnosis on the thing for the form for the insurance or whatever, if you're in session, the outcome that you need for that patient should be the same, which is agency. empowerment for that person to go off into life, that they don't have to go to therapy anymore. That's the whole idea. Sayonara and Stance, good to see you. Yes, I'm fixed. I'm all good. I'm perfect now. Thank you.
What's the antidote? What can we do? So if you've enjoyed this, if you found this interesting, follow me
Yes.
over to Substack. Go and subscribe there,
Ooh.
and then we'll go into that. Also, I hope you will turn. And also, I hope you will tune in on Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern. We'll do a live access, a live video on this.
Ooh.
You can ask all of your questions. If you had some, if you feel that I didn't cover anything, or you have questions about, I don't know, a
missed
relative,
it.
then I'll address that on the live video on Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern. So I hope to.
Oh, I missed it. I'm so glad I've subscribed to her now, though. I've missed it, but we'll see. This is definitely not the last video of hers that we're going to be looking at. I like her, Hannah. Yeah, go and see Hannah. It's not tomorrow because this was 4 weeks ago, guys. A couple of weeks ago, at least. But it had been recommended so many times. The algorithm was for real with me on this one. I do want to show you just I'll have a bit of a look on Instagram. We're almost done, but I'm looking for reparenting. But yes, the channel is Hannah Spear MD. Just look at that channel there. At Psychobabble with Spear. This is the link for her channel. The nose ring theory video, is it by her? What's the name? Paffy, did you hear she's on Substack? She's got Substack as well. So we got to go over there. I'm just want to check on, how do I go reparenting? Instagram might not be as bad at reparenting. Otherwise, I have to go to Amala's video. Reparenting. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, there's reparent yourself. 200,000 posts. Okay, let's see. Oh yes, this is the one that these are some of the ones that Amala went over. So here we are.
In a while. How are you doing?
Okay, so this is God. I hope the music, guys. I might have to mute this after we listen to it, but it's the end of the stream. It's fine. I might cut it out. So anybody who's here, this is exclusive. Okay. So she gentle parents her inner child. This is how she speaks to it. So basically, what I perceive has happened here is she's gone to therapy at some point, or she's read about it online. She spoke to ChatGPT about it, or something like that. And she got the idea of reparenting, which is, what is the message? I spoke about it earlier. What is the message that your parent could have given you in a certain situation? So that goes back to that whole idea of, oh, everything is trauma and whatever. So yes, you go back to that and you think about it. What could I have said to myself? What can I say to myself? All of those just introspective things that are supposed to reframe what you've experienced. So what they do is they then go and bastardize the things that they learn in where's Dadvocate? What's Nose Ring Theory by Dadvocate? It's very similar to this. Okay, I'll go and have a look. So yes, they go into this and they do this this thing of, they start speaking to themselves as if they're little baby children. Okay, that's not what reparenting is in therapy. Okay, it's just they took it, they bastardized it, and they ran. So it's the same thing that they do with trauma. It's like, oh, here's my badge of trauma, and that defines me for the rest of my life. Eesh. So yeah, listen to this.
Doing okay? Oh, you're not in trouble. Oh, no. I'm not here to get you in trouble. The inner critic's been criticizing you a little bit now, hasn't she? We're going to ask her to step back. Can you step back for a little bit? Give us some space, okay? I got her. Thank you. I know you were worried about her. I've got this. Thanks. Oh, sweetie. You're not in trouble. You got stuck, didn't you? Yeah, you got stuck.
She does seem to be really into it. Okay, she does seem to really be crying about it. But yeah, shit. And also the thing is, you're filming this. Why are you filming this? This is you at at home. This is what you need to do. But then again, if this is what you're going to have to do on the plane or something like this is not how humans have worked for a very long time. This is not how we do adulthood. But now we're normalizing this sort of infantilization of ourselves, that this is something. I guess I'm also very hard on myself, so the idea of speaking to myself this way just is icky. But the compassionate wording is very important. I won't deny that. But this, oh honey kind of thing, no, that just seems too far for me. I can't handle that shit.
You don't feel good in your body. Let's get you some water. You went too long.
You got a sippy cup, huh? You got your sippy cup?
Without eating. Yeah, I know your body is so tired, but you're not able to rest anymore in bed, are you? That's so hard. I know. I think we are gonna have to do it tired today.
We're gonna have to do it tired today.
It's not your fault. I know you want to blame yourself. Sometimes there's nothing to blame. Sometimes it's just hard. I know you hate how.
Like, all of those things are good things to say to yourself, but the way that she says it outside, and then the music and the crying to herself,
This feels.
Yes, she needs a dog. Exactly. Yes, you say this to your dog.
Let's take a deep breath all the way down to your toes, to your belly. Just get.
Like, it's just, don't you guys hear this? That she's talking as if she's speaking to a toddler, and that creeps me out, man. Yes, I'm being judgmental. Sue me. So is this another one?
Hey, sweetie.
This is just all her. Is this the same one?
Hey, sweetie. Really sorry that she hit you.
Lael Stone?
You've been on your phone.
No, your wisdom friend. There was somebody else I'm trying to look for. She went and was dancing in the store as a kid, like as if she was a kid. I'm gonna have to go to Amala's video, because now everybody's reacted to Amala's video, and everybody's criticizing it, which is like, it's fine, we want you to, but let me just go to Amala. I just so I can get you the clips that she's talking about. Okay, let's go. Gosh, the output of this Amala lady. Okay, Mozart was black. Oh, okay. I've got so much to catch up with. But yeah, this is strange. This 10 days ago. Here it is. Here it is, guys. This is the thing I'm talking about. Reparenting in real time.
Okay, again, you're allowed to dance. Yeah, you might feel awkward, even be a little scared. It's okay. There's no rude with dancing.
Stop this. So she's dancing around. She's dressed up like a little kid because, you know, as a kid, you would just wear stuff. And then your parents are just like, whatever, just put on. As long as you're clothed, we're good. Wear your princess dress, whatever, it's fine. Okay? So she's done that for herself because some parents won't. Some parents want you to wear your outfit. So she's now gone and been like, look, I'm free. I'm wearing my tiara, which is what my niece used to call it, tiara. So she's wearing her tiara. And she's in her skirt and whatever, and she's dancing in the store.
It's okay if someone sees you.
Okay, we're gonna pause there. Guys, I don't know what's going on here, and I don't know what reparenting is, but I'm gonna get down to the bottom of it because she's not the only person doing this. So,
okay, guys, go and see Amala's video of it, but she has her replay of the most. Music. She's taking
universe and find some other examples of reparenting. Here's one. This one says, gentle parenting my inner child, stuck doom scrolling in bed.
Okay, yeah, that's the one we just watched. Here's another.
There's an accident on the 101. It's just dinner. Nobody's mad at me.
Okay, so at least she's saying nobody's mad at you. That makes sense. That's good. Like you're speaking to yourself. Nobody's mad at me. She's speaking to herself. She's not speaking to herself as she's a little baby, so this might be okay. Am I AI streaming? No, I'm not.
I don't know. I don't know, guys. I don't want to come off just like, yucking somebody's yum and getting in the way of something that helps them, but I have to wonder whether or not this is actually helpful to talk to yourself like you are a child. Nobody's mad at you. This has happened. That has happened.
Yes, I'm live. I'm live now.
It's okay. Could we not get to the same result and maybe conquer our anxiety or conquer the fact that we were raised by a narcissist in other ways, other than treating ourselves like we are a child? Could we not get stuck in that mentality? How does one progress out of reparenting themselves? When does the reparent?
Yes, you're supposed to go beyond this. This is what she's talking about in what the previous video talks about it. Can I talk to you on Twitch stream? There you are. You're talking to me now.
Parenting and I'm going to say it because somebody's got to say it. I want to see the political mapping for where the individuals who are engaging in this practice lie on the scale of politics.
I have to be high in openness, so they go and they do it. They go and dance in the store and everything.
Theories. All right, let's watch maybe one more.
What? You left your earpods by the pool yesterday and somebody stole them? Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. How are you feeling? You feel frustrated and mad? That's totally valid. You feel frustrated.
See, somebody told these women that you have an inner child and you've got to take care of your inner child, and that is a good thing. Okay, think about yourself as if you're somebody you care about, which is you think of yourself as little you that you care about, because you can't think of, well, usually generally you don't want to hurt a child, so it's easier for you to care about smaller you, so you think of yourself as a child. So that's the whole idea that they're trying to get you to do in your therapy session. In the therapy session. Then they go on TikTok and they do this with it. I'm sure that Psychobabble, Spear, our friend Hannah Spear over there, I'm sure she's done something on this, and if she hasn't, I will be hitting her up on Substack and be like, speak about this. Sybil, a brilliant hysteric. Oh goodness.
At yourself? Why? Because you're stupid for forgetting them and not putting them back in your bag? Oh, honey, that doesn't make you stupid. You just made a mistake, and we all make mistakes. It's a part of being human. It's okay.
Like you see the message that's good there. It's part of being human. We all make mistakes. Oh, honey, you're not stupid. No, you don't have to do that. Stop doing that with psychology. I hate you.
You're mad that somebody stole them? That's totally valid to feel that way too. It's not your fault. Somebody took something that wasn't theirs. It's not your fault that they got stolen. It was just a mistake. I know that.
I don't know. None of this is making sense to me. It just does not make sense to me to talk to yourself like you are a kindergartner. It seems like huge oversimplification of the human psyche to be experiencing a problem and immediately jump to speaking to yourself like you are a child. And interestingly enough, all of these individuals are women. I wonder if it skews in
Hey, yeah, we were just talking about that.
that direction, as well as far as a treatment option for people experiencing, I guess, remnants of their childhood issues in adulthood. And all of them seem to revert back to the same type of language, to the same type of developmental stage where they're talking to themselves. How?
Okay, guys, before we just watch the whole of the Amala video, I always say Amala. I'm so sorry. She must get so irritated with people that do that. All right, that is it for us today. But yes, notice, as Amala did, that the it was I've changed the illusion. There we go. It was women that were doing that, and we were talking about borderline and histrionic and all of that attention seeking kind of woman. I guess you could say that I could be one of those because I'm online. I'm speaking to people. I'm seeking attention. I want subscribers. I want, hey, like the video. Subscribe to me. I guess we could say I'm a pathological female. Therefore, you should give me money. That's basically the meta now, guys. Give me the money. I'm a female. Give me the money. I'm a female. There you go. I'm just joking. I'm joking. If you're pregnant, you have 2 inner children. You could have 3. Okay, if you're pregnant with twins. Anyway, guys, the point is we have lots going on in our heads, us females, and yes, you males too. You also have stuff going on, but you have seemingly different ways of dealing with it, in general. And yes, it seems like we've got the antisocial male that is aggressive and does crimes, and then we've got the borderline cluster B females that just are general chaos. And all of that is exacerbated by current day social media and perceptions of psychology. I feel like we have normalized bad behavior to the point where we're not supposed to have any disorders anymore, which is just, I don't know if that helps us get over those sort of things. But what do I know? I'm just a girl in the world. Thank you so much for being around for the Slop React. I really appreciate everybody chilling with me. Have a good weekend. And have a nice life. And I'll see you next time. Okay, thanks. Bye.
I'll see you next time, shall we? Had some fun, we reacted to Slap, but now we're done. I'll miss you, I'll cry.